Comfortable here. So I can fix that. I had room. I can fix that. Sure you could. Are you? Yeah, good.
Have you had COVID? No. Neither have I. No.
I had a urinary tract infection.
Okay, according to this, we got 1 minute. Is it good? Good to go? Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's good. Better reach it.
I don't know.
Fine, Mark, that's a good way to think. But that's okay.
I need to
Oh. Yeah, I worked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
usually I have been.
Oh. No, I wasn't out of
Asian
town.
day.
Well, good, this, well, I was.
So I just shut,
Okay, are we ready?
Oh, no, I didn't know where I sat actually.
We're gonna redirect you.
Okay. So I just shut everything down.
Are we good to go now? Good evening, everyone. Mr. Scamahorn at a distance. Okay, so I'll call the regular meeting of Tuesday, October 10th to order at 5 p.m. And we have the agenda in front of us. Are there any additions or deletions?
Nothing, your worship, thank you.
Great. Would someone be prepared to put forth a motion? Councillor Good,
I'll move the minutes as presented, pardon me, the agenda is presented.
great. All those in favor? It is carried. We have the minutes of September 25th. You've had a chance to review them. Are there any edits? Or somebody could move their acceptance? Councillor Shannon,
I move the council adopt the minutes of the September 25th, 2023 regular council meetings presented.
thank you. All those in favor? Great, it is carried. We don't have any public hearings, presentations, none. Bylaws, however, we do have one to talk about tonight, and it is Mr. Mugford that's going to do some talking, is it?
Yes, it is, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
Good evening, council. Just have before you request for decision, second and third reading of bylaw 2140, which is a ski club loan bylaw. So on August 14th, 2023, council gave first reading to bylaw number 2140, being ski club loan bylaw. So on final reading, that will authorize lending $20,000 to the Peace River Ski Club for the purpose of repaying their Canada Emergency Business Account loan. Funds will be advanced from the town's operating reserve, and Peace River Ski Club will enter into an agreement with the town to repay the loan by March 31, 2028 in annual payments of $4,000 with an interest rate of 0%. Prior to returning this bylaw to council for second and third reading, the town was required to provide notice to the public through the town's website and social media for 2 consecutive weeks. Final date of publication of this advertisement was September 27th, with a period extending up to 15 days subsequent to that date. During the advertising period, one letter was received from a member of the public expressing opinions on the matter, which was included in the council's consideration. The options before council are to grant second and third reading of bylaw number 2140. Advantages of that being that it supports the Peace River Ski Club by providing liquidity to assist in repayment of the SEBA loan. The disadvantages being a temporary reduction in the town's reserves, and the financial implications being the opportunity cost associated with the return on those funds. Option 2 would be to decline to grant second and third reading. So the advantage being the funds would remain in reserves, the disadvantage being that it would not obviously to support the ski club and providing their liquidity to repay that loan. The recommendation from administration is that council give second and third reading to bylaw 2140. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilors, do you have any questions at this point? Then would someone be prepared to put forward a motion for second reading? Councilor Good?
I'll move the council give second reading to bylaw 2140, being the 2023 ski club loan bylaw.
Thank you. Any discussions at this point? All those in favor of the motion? It is carried. Thank you. And perhaps someone would move us through to third reading. Councilor Shannon?
We could make comments now if we wanted to, can we not?
Yes. Nope.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to comment on the letter that came from the public, which I thought was a very well thought out and considerate letter. And that format of communication with council, I really like. I like the tone of it, I like the information in it, I like everything it put out. I appreciated the thoughtfulness of somebody taking the time to do that. So that's all I'm saying.
Thank you. Any further comments? Okay, Councilor Shannon is putting forth the motion, I believe.
That council give third reading to bylaw number 2140, being the 2023 ski club loan bylaw.
Thank you. Any further comments, discussion? All those in favor? It is carried. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Redford. Ms. Modi is now going to talk to us about the business grant program policy implementation.
Good evening, everyone.
And before that, I'll just skip that we have no unfinished business. So new business, here's Ms. Modi.
Thank you. Yes, I'm here to bring forward a request for, decision, not direction, on the business grant program policy. So as we presented at the last GNP, we have received a number of applications. We have issued a certain amount of money under the business grant program, but we have noticed some issues that have come up in those applications that we think are specifically related to the timing of our policy being launched and where we were in the construction season related to that. So we brought forward to council some specific, this time, temporary relaxations to certain policies within that policy document that will provide a little bit of additional flexibility this year and will keep us with the current policy that we have moving into 2024, when the business community will have a greater amount of time to understand the program and make application and plan for their business improvements or tourism projects for 2024. So we have listed out the specific changes to the policy in table 1 of the RFD. And the options before council are to approve a temporary relaxation to those specific policy numbers for grant applications that are approved in 2023, so for this year. And the other option would be to decline to relax those policies. And it is our recommendation council does move forward with the relaxation for 2023 specifically.
Thank you. So councilors, we had quite a discussion on this at GNP meeting, but any further questions or discussion? Councilor Carr?
Why did we go from 2,500 down to 1,000? Did you receive feedback from people saying that my project didn't qualify under the 2,500, or why was the $1,000 picked?
The intention behind the threshold is to make sure that we're not putting in a lot of administrative work for a very small project. But given the timing, we did receive an application where the amount that they were actually looking for was below the threshold. And ultimately, we didn't give people a lot of notice. So their ability to necessarily dig deeper into their pockets this year with that amount of timeline is possibly constrained. So we just wanted to relax it for this year so that we can hopefully get more money out the door and provide more support.
So this is not permanent, this is just for this year.
This will just be for this, and then next year it will be 2,500 as the minimum threshold. with that intention being that there is a lot of work going into each application on our end as well, and we want to make sure that we're not offering up very little money for that amount of work that has to happen for the application regardless of its
Yeah,
size.
that's what I kind
Yeah, so this is, all of these relaxations are just for applications in 2023.
of, okay, thank you.
Any other questions, discussion? Counselor Scannahorn, you're good with the idea? Okay. Okay, and by the way, I would like to say I like the charge. Very nicely done.
I liked it.
Yeah. Okay, would someone be prepared to bring forth or put forth the motion? You go, Counselor Shannon?
I recommend the council approves the temporary relaxation of business grant program policy numbers 8.3. Do I have to read those out? 8.3, 30.1, 31.3, 32.1.4, 32.1.4.1, 32.1.4.2, and 37.1 and 37.1.3 as outlined in table 1 of this request for decision for grant applications approved in 2023. Thank you.
Very nice. Any comments, questions on the motion? All those in favor? It is carried. Thank you, Ms. Modi. And good luck with the business grants. Okay, and now CAO Miller, Alberta Municipalities Conference, or no? I see there's a capital project update, neighborhood. I don't have that.
It's a verbal.
Okay. Then it looks like, Mr. Fisher, you're up for the capital project update on neighborhood infrastructure renewal.
Thank you, Your Worship. Good evening, Council. I apologize about not having a formal briefing for this. I just wanted to come back to Council because I don't think we had as administration for a little while on this project. So the neighborhood infrastructure renewal is sort of some deep utility work that's happening on 95th Avenue between 96th Street and 98th Street currently. Normally the NIR project and neighborhood infrastructure renewal would be done in 1 year. We're finding that the money is it's going less far due to inflation and everything. So it's going to be spread over 2 years this year. If you looked at our social media, there should have been notices going out this week about paving tomorrow. So our contractor will be paving sort of where we did a tie-in to our water infrastructure up on 98th Street, and also a little bit of work on River Road, so 94th Street. So there'll be a little bit of lane construction there, and then short duration. Most of the deep utilities are in, so the sewer and water for the work that needs to be done. We're going through QA/QC procedures right now, so we're looking at the inspection reports, waiting for the provincial lab testing results to show up. And then we'll be connecting the permanent water after we receive confirmation from Alberta Health Services that the water lines are good to go. Deferred until next year is sort of the paving for the area. Some of the stormwater utility and the lighting for the neighborhood. That was deferred just to spread on our budgeting. So next year's NIR is going to be pretty much the remainder of this construction contract for this year. So some of the storm infrastructure has been updated, but the rest will be done next year. And they'll be putting in a sort of a base driving layer and then redoing the road base and paving next year. One of the things that's important on this kind of project for me is just kind of paying attention to some of the complaints and learning opportunities that we get from the public. So one of the things that I would like to see is more notice going out on some of these shutdowns in the future. That's something that we're going to work hard at as administration. And a little bit of coordination with our services like garbage pickup that have been interrupted from work this year. So just a little bit more coordination up front, make that go a little smoother. That's where we're at.
So the sidewalks would be next year along with that. And, did very many, residents take up, the offer to, I guess, make new their connection from the curb stop to the house?
Not a lot, but we did have one
Yeah.
take us up on that.
Good.
I think that's a good thing to offer
Yeah.
residents.
And the garbage, so will it go back to the Front Street, over the winter sort of thing?
I would expect
Is
so.
that pick up?
Yeah, yeah.
Great. Councilors, any questions? I'm glad the weather's holding. Knocking on wood of that part of things. Okay, so no further questions. Maybe someone would move the report for information. Councilor Good.
I'll move the capital project update verbal report, neighborhood infrastructure renewal, report be accepted as information.
Thank you. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Okay, now CAO Miller and Alberta Municipalities Conference debrief.
Thank you, Your Worship. So this briefing notice, just to recap the events and activities at the AM conference. So as those of us who were there, it was a very, very busy few days. We had meetings with I think 3 provincial ministers and the RCMP commanding officer of K Division. The town was also the seconder at the conference for a resolution B4, which was rural access to supports for addictions, homelessness and mental health. And the town of Grimshaw was the mover. That motion passed with over 95% or 93%. I think it was 93.5%. So it was well received, and we would anticipate AM to start advocacy on that issue. So when we were there, council did meet with a number of ministers, so Minister of Municipal Affairs, Minister McIver, Minister of Seniors, Community Social Services, Minister Jason Nixon, excuse me, Deputy Premier, Minister of Public Safety and Emergency Services, Mike Ellis, and then the RCMP Commanding Officer of K Division was Deputy Commissioner Curtis Zablocki. And during those meetings, we did provide updated ministers briefings, and council discussed in particular the PRCC situation, our infrastructure needs. We sought funding for the mobile outreach program, and we also sought funding under the low income transit grant program that's being offered at the moment. So altogether, the meetings were very positive. We all left feeling hopeful that we will see some action on some of the asks that we received. Administration did also put together for council a significant package of the responses received in our advocacy campaign for the support for the homeless and changes to the PRCC release practices. So a significant package went to every one of them. Also, a package was prepared for the premier around that and that situation. And moving forward next week, we'll pull some letters together, just thanking for their attention and time, and some additional letters that we've received in our advocacy campaign, and forward those on to just make sure that we stay front and center in the minds of every one of those ministers on our concerns.
Thank you. Any questions of Mrs. Miller, Councillor Scannahorn?
Yeah, I think we should probably mention that our own MLA and Minister of Mental Health and Addictions, Dan Williams, attended 2 of those briefings, and not only was listening to our presentation, but advocating for us as in both of those roles as his, or he's our actual MLA, of course, and then that tie in to his portfolio there as well. So it was very good to have him come to 2 of those meetings and kind of, I don't know, co-host them with us.
Thank you. Any other comments at this point in time? Well, thank you, CAO Miller, for both the debriefing and the briefing notes. They were, I think, very well done and very helpful for councillors in their talks with the ministers. Would someone be prepared to put forth a motion accepting the CAO report on Alberta Municipalities Conference for improvement? Councillor Carr so moves. All those in favor? It is carried. Thank you. Okay, next up we have information. And this would be, oops, nope, sorry. We have the report section and we're looking at the September 2023 council attendance reports. And so for those out there in virtual land, this will be a new thing added to our council agendas. And September was the first month, so we're getting organized on this, but Councillor Scammahorn managed to get his in under the deadline. And Councillor Scammahorn, anything that you want to make special note of, I guess?
Well, most of what we just talked about here, of course, with our attendance at the Muni conference. I did kind of neglect a couple things on there from the North Peace Housing file. So I may just add them into my October report there. So yes, although I did get my homework in on time, I guess you can swat me for being mildly incomplete, although you wouldn't have known if I hadn't said, so. There you go.
So you did go to the Ski Hill AGM though?
I did actually attend that. Interesting about I thought about mentioning this during the loan, not that it's the discussion, not that it's it's not carved in stone or anything, but they're at their AGM. It was well attended. They got many directors' positions filled. Their financial position is very strong, and their treasurer did kind of sort of make the remark that there's a good chance that they would have that loan paid off by the end of the season if all goes as they're kind of predicting it will. So I think Councillor Good had mentioned the residents' concerns and kind of re-highlighted those, which were, of course, very well stated. But I think everyone's going to be very happy when this all gets sorted out, and good chance it'll be early.
Hope so. It's a good start. Okay, any further questions of Councillor Scammahorn? Would someone be prepared to move the acceptance of Councillor Scammahorn's report for information? Councillor Shannon?
Sure, I'll move my own report if you
Oh.
don't mind.
Okay, Councillor Scammahorn moves that. All those in favor? It is carried. Thank you. For information items, we have the Governance and Priorities Committee meeting minutes of October 2nd. So you had a chance to reflect on them. Any comments from them? Or someone would perhaps move the acceptance of those draft minutes for information. Councillor Good so moves. All those in favor of that motion? It is carried. Thank you. Do we have any notices of motion? None, so your worship, thank you. Okay, any comments from the public? Maybe not, it should be one of the things. Key communication items. Does your comment fit within that category? No. Okay, key communication items from tonight's meeting. We're moving right along here. Seems to me we're missing council communication.
Oh, you're right, we're struggling along without our legislative assistance support there.
So maybe we're having this between items 12 and 13. Council communication package, if you've had a chance to review that, there were some nice thank you notes within that from the Honorable Christina Freeland on her visit to Peace River. Also from the Northwest Territories residents, a thank you note for Town of Peace River's hosting and so on. Nice one from the TA Norris High School Reunion Committee. Note that this committee's been going almost for 50 years, I think. Other thing we might have noticed here, the Peace River Fire Department is hosting an open house this coming Saturday, October 14th, from I think 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So there'll be various displays and people can ask questions and for sure see the new fire truck and probably something going up in smoke that they kind of put out. Networking social Chamber of Commerce is gonna happen on October 19th. And there is the Art Club Gala happening on October 20th as well. So lots of things. Anything else that people wanted to bring forth in that communication package? Maybe someone would move acceptance of the communication package for information. Councilor Good, okay. Councilor Good, so moves. All those in favor? Okay. Now maybe we're going to key communication items. So I would think the fire hall, the ski club loan, the business grant policy.
Oh, yeah, that's this business
Yeah.
grant policy.
Okay, anything else at this point? Okay, so as I said, we're moving right along here. So we'll take a little bit of a 5-minute break and at 5:30 we'll come back into closed session. Unless I've forgotten something.
No.
Okay.
It seems funny.
We're moving right along. So 5:30, we're back.
Okay, so somehow we make it to, what's the next? The next one is the, I don't think that was going to come all over, maybe I should do it on that, if there's something, but. But I remember asking, and I said, hey, parents are putting in.
What do you mean, the screen? Yeah.
How many weeks back at that? Yeah, it seems to be.
Yes, we keep screening going.
Oh, I think so, the screening should get turned off. So Belinda, the streaming is turned off. Yeah. I think so. Yeah, it's in camera. Yeah. You're not? No, I'm gonna send it on to him because. Okay, that's where, yeah. Okay. That was actually originally what I was going to do. Yeah, I know, okay. Yeah. It's just hours, I don't think about proofread.
Yeah.
I said, I forgot about Minister Williams, but he's just hours, so you don't think about him because he's like, he's hours.
Yeah, when that becomes good.
He's hours. So, see you tomorrow. See you, thank you.
I get such a pick out of Patrick. Did you see him? He was just ready to go, like he had one foot and then ready to get out of there as fast as he could. Anybody have any questions? He's a nice guy. Yeah.
It's not unusual.
Catching up with a lot of stuff.
Especially.
He's a good sense of humor. He laughed at himself.
Get him early.
Sorry, yeah, I just even noticed after me, oh, we forgot proposed motions there. Well, we need to let Kevin wash his nest.
And take it for us.
Well,
Make sure.
It worked out.
I just found out this weekend that you can end up doing damage from.
We forgot this,
I had no idea.
And I was kind of looking at my draft rather than the actual one, so.
and I didn't even clue in when I checked the final, because she just does that stuff, you know, it's just automatic, and puts that.
Okay.
Oh, well. It worked.
So I talked to the CEO at Fairview today. He's new too, he's only been there.
Are we stopped?
Yeah, I've pressed stop and it has, I believe it has stopped. But
He's new, he's only been there 11, a year maybe. They said he was there a year, 17 years. But his name, Robert or something.
Brain damage.
Got somebody else around here.
Yeah, it's. How it kills people.
Big Lakes County.
Yes.
Whenever you were. Jordan Panasiak was there. Jordan Panasiak is the High Prairie's son. Brian Panasiak is the mayor and
Yes.
of High Prairie, and Jordan was, his son was
Well, and it
Big
was,
Lakes County.
it was the guy after Jordan.
Yeah. Right, I think actually they've had somebody in between there, because Jordan's been gone.
Yeah.
Unless they had, because this guy only lasted 6 months.
Oh, I feel like it's off, but I'm not positive. I'm gonna go get,
Maybe I should just, oh.
the other.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like these. Yeah, I very much like your thoughts. Sometimes. Oh, who was telling me?
Tomorrow. I don't know if you want to come a little bit earlier. But I have my monthly meeting with Dave.
Oh, yes, because I really like to know what that is.
First. I don't, that's all would be great, that, you know, and, it's like. I don't- Oh, yeah, yeah, it's like. My brother has. Yes, it's.
I did it?
Yeah. Question, nothing to say the earth.
So who's TG?
Who's
that?
I don't know.
Yeah. So once I.
Because we don't want anybody on there, but Byron.
Byron Scanlon would be the,
It's normally the only one flat.
Peace River,
You call it leveler.
Team G.
I thought that doesn't turn people, you know. Talk to people who
So we don't want it recording anymore, we just want Byron. Who would TG be, Alex?
Oh, yeah.
Like, we don't want, who's
So I
that?
don't know what to say. When I went up to.
You can get rid of them.
And talk to Julie with me, because she wants to.
I don't see anyone, it's
I'm
only
curious to hear.
down at the river in Byron.
We'll see, when you look at the screen, it says TG.
Issues here, point like this. Why the satellite.
GG, it's
Point almost like this.
oh, it's a Teams meeting in the moment. Why it's Teams meeting?
It's over here. Here, it's here. Even the Greeks figured out that.
We'll just-
Oh, yeah, not even the Greeks.
Because we're gonna go into closed session, so only Byron's and then only he has access.
Yeah.